Hi guys, it's Leszek Starmowski and this is Fitness Soul Podcast. Today a little bit different because our host will be Joanna. Ta-da! It's her first time. Joanna, my wife.
Hello.
Are you happy?
I'm a little bit stressed. We'll see how it goes.
Who are you gonna talk to?
We'll talk with Angie about female hormones.
So this is the reason I'm not taking this podcast. Anyway, enjoy yourself and see you soon. Bye.
Okay, hi everyone, welcome to Fitness Soul Podcast. My name is Joanna Weintritt and my guest today is Angie Garton. So Angie, can you tell us what you do?
So that is a huge question. So basically, I'm a nutrition coach. I work with women over 35, and probably the best way of describing it is, you know when you should be eating the right things and you just think, I know what I should be doing, why aren't I just doing it? Or you think, I'm doing all the right things I should be doing, I'm ticking off all the boxes, I'm doing everything right, but my body isn't changing. And why isn't that happening? Or perhaps you're really struggling with PMS, which a lot of women are, and we come to think of that as normal. Actually, it doesn't make you abnormal, but to struggle with it all the time, you don't have to. So that's what I do. I'm a bit of a problem solver. I'm a coach, so I'm not a prescriptive nutritionist. I don't give you a diet plan. I will help you to change your food choices and your lifestyle factors around how you want to feel, and then help you to do it. So it's not me giving you a list of stuff to do. I'll take your hand and we'll do it.
Okay, so let's say that I've got problems with losing weight, and I did everything. I'm doing lots of classes. I think I'm eating healthy, and then I'm coming to you because I was like, maybe I heard about this girl Angie. Maybe she will help me. So what you gonna do with me? Like,
okay, so we have a chat about what your problems are at the moment, how you want to feel. So we find out exactly where you are on the map at the moment. So we get a grid reference, if you like. And then we work out what you want to be, how you want to feel, who you want to look like, where you want to be on that map. So we get another grid reference. And then we work out a map of how to get there. So it's slightly different for everyone. Some people are going to want to go up the mountain and straight back down. Some people want to go around it. So we can do that through talking and meeting one-to-one. A lot of my clients and people I speak to, I never actually get to meet in person. It can be on Skype and phone calls. I do like to meet my clients if I can, and I have one day a week at a clinic in Edinburgh, so we do that too. So it's usually weekly sessions is how we get you to that new grid reference on the map of how you want to be.
Because obviously it's, I think we all think it's when you exercise and eat healthy, you're gonna get the results, but it's not always that, right? There is more behind all those two things. So can you explain, because this is what you're dealing with a lot, right?
Yeah.
So what are those kind of mysterious things which are in our body, and they affect a lot depending what else we do, how stressed we are? So the magic element that a lot of people don't take into consideration is their hormones. It's a huge subject that we could talk for weeks about and do a series of podcasts on. But basically, hormones are the most powerful chemicals in your body. And we can't outrun them. We can't out-exercise them. We can't out-diet them. But we can take them into consideration. And if the things that you're doing at the moment aren't getting you the results that you want, whatever those results might be, then we need to look at the hormones, and we need to look at what is telling those hormones what to do.
So we've got to keep peeling back the onion layers to see what is actually going on. The hormones run the show. They're crazy little buggers, and we need to get them on our side. And there's loads of them, and we need to understand all the different ways that they affect the body.
Okay, so basically, someone can have like hormone imbalance, right, in their body, but is it like can we help somehow, like to get it right, and can we do something about it? Maybe there's something in our lives that we do wrong. I don't know, like small things that.
It's always small things that make the biggest difference with anything in life, and this is no exception. So you can have a hormone imbalance. Quite commonly we've got hormone imbalances without knowing that we've got them, and our body is giving us little signals and saying, tapping us on the shoulder sometimes and saying, hey, I've got this, and we don't see it as a sign. We see it as a headache, or struggling with that last few pounds of weight, or struggling to get out of bed in the morning, or just feeling, in the evening when you feel tired yet you're still a bit wired and you get your second wind. That can be a hormone imbalance too. So there's lots of little signals that your body's giving you, and they're flagging up these problems, and we need to tune into them and listen, and then we can start to make tiny changes, really small changes at first, to do with nutrition and lifestyle. Nutrition is really important, and the food that we eat, not just the food that we eat, but we need to make sure that we're nourishing ourselves, not just eating. So
what food will be good then? What kind of
I thought you might ask me that. Well, it does depend on what you're wanting, goals, and also depend on male and female. Obviously I'm a female hormone specialist, so for all women we can't go wrong with, obviously, the more fresh foods we eat the better. We already know that's kind of common sense. And then there's certain things that are going to help you at certain stages in your life, because we go through obviously different chapters through our lives, and fertility is a big chapter in that, and we can help ourselves out by eating for our hormones in each of the stages. So for me personally, I'm over 35, so my hormones are changing. I'm starting to go into that perimenopause phase, so it's the chapter before my menopause, but my body is definitely changing, which is a natural thing, totally natural. So I've got hormone changes, and if I want to maintain my health long term through all this, if I want to maintain my figure and my energy, because I love the classes here, I love my running, and I want to look good and feel good for myself, so I can help my hormones do that by eating a rainbow plate. So every meal is going to be really, really colourful. I
like that.
Yeah.
Just like imagine this salad, beautiful salad with lots of different colors.
Yeah, the more colors the better. Obviously we can have some of the colorless foods, if you like, the cauliflower and things, so I'm thinking along those lines rather than white bread, white chips. Everyone knows we should be avoiding that. And then also think of textures too. So in that rainbow plate, we don't just want a bowl of soup for every meal, even if it's a rainbow soup. We want some different textures too. That's always important. And then another little element that I always tell my ladies is protein and fats. And we know protein and fats, they're coming more into the media now, they're coming more into the headlines. We've had all the big sugar stories, now it's moving on towards the fat, the fat stories. I've been saying for years that we're not to be scared of eating fats, and in actual fact a lot of your hormones are made from fats. If we don't eat enough of the good ones, we are going to struggle. Those hormones are going to struggle, and we're going to feel it.
So the good ones, basically olive oil, coconut oil, avocado, nuts,
fish, anything that is a single ingredient, basically. If it's coming out of a packet, then we've got to be a bit more careful. I don't really like to class foods as good and bad, but I understand that's how people often think of it.
But the processed food, right? Is it good for hormones?
Not so good. Not so good. Yeah.
And it's not only the food, right? It's also the package, which is...
Yeah, that's right. That's an interesting one. So the package that the food comes in itself can have an impact on the food that's stored in it. So foods that you see at the supermarket quite commonly, like the packaged salads, or a salad in a bowl, the pre-chopped onions, like little quick fixes, quick shortcuts, which are good. I like the idea of that because it saves time, and we all need to save a bit of time in the kitchen. That's always good. But we've also got to be aware that those foods in the packets, they've been there for some days, right, on the shelf, and they've come from the factory and sat there for a while. Okay, they're in the fridge, but why aren't they brown? You know, if I chopped up an onion and then put it in a bag and sealed it and then left it on the side for 4 or 5 days, it wouldn't look that great. But in the supermarket, it's looking fine. And the water bottles as well. If you think of those row upon row of water bottles, they're all pristine. Why aren't they a bit green? Because they might have been sitting in the sun for a few months.
Oh.
So there's stuff in the plastics in here, and in the food containers, there's chemicals to keep the food and the water fresh, which is great. But that leaches into the food and the water itself, and then we ingest it, and it's affecting the hormones.
So basically for the water bottles, like mine says somewhere, BPA free?
Yeah, perfect.
So this is something that you want to
definitely buy? Yeah, always look for that. And they're getting more savvy now that you're seeing that more commonly on not just the bottles but the food containers,
I've seen that as
like
well.
for your packed lunches and things for yourself and for the kids. So always look out for that label, BPA free.
What about the cans? Are they... do they have the BPA? I have no idea. So
there is a coating on them. Things like, you know, the tin tomatoes, that kind of stuff. I'm not going to say don't eat them because I eat them myself. So
just keep the balance, basically.
Yeah. Because we can't avoid all these things completely. You can, but it would be very difficult, and it creates more of an issue.
So like having a farm with your own like organic veg. It would be ideal solution.
That would be brilliant if we could then put that on an island, so we've got no traffic fumes and no vapor trails from the planes. That would be perfect.
And what about another thing? I heard it before, but you did mention on the workshop like last week about drinking water from the tap.
Yeah, this is from the tap. I drink tap water, but I have a bit of a filter on the top as well to filter out as much as I can. These aren't going to filter out all the chemicals and the hormones that are in the tap water.
So there is hormones and chemicals in the tap water?
There is, to a certain extent. There's particles. You'd be surprised what they've found. Google it. It's a bit scary.
We've got the filter at home. We bought it a couple months ago after like hearing about I've been always aware, but then we thought like let's do it. So we bought this like big installation, and actually I just wanted to buy. Leszek wanted to buy a jug with the carbon. I think it's a carbon, isn't it, in it or something?
Yeah.
So he wanted to buy that, and it's like, you know what? I've seen people having those taps. What about that? Let's buy that. So we ordered that online, and it came like massive big box. He opened it up, and he was just like, "Joanna, I will kill you," because he was like, obviously he wouldn't get someone to do it for him. He wanted to do it on his own, and I went away to meet my friend, and I think I was 4 hours away, and when I came back he just finished, and he was like, "I'm so glad that you weren't here because I would kill you." But it's interesting, the water. I didn't taste the difference between tap water and just like a bottled water, but now when I drink the filtered water, it's just like two different worlds. It's crazy that you can actually taste things in it.
Yeah, and you'll notice that now. That will become your norm. So when you drink something different, you'll notice straight away. You'll pick it up, and your body's going to thank you for that.
Yeah. So like as much as possible with all those things. Obviously, it's hard to be super strict because like so many things is in the package actually.
Yeah.
And also you don't know, even if they are not maybe in the package, you don't know if they haven't been stored in the package before.
Yeah.
It's just like.
It gets confusing.
Overwhelming.
Yeah, it's overwhelming, and you get to a point where you think, oh, there's so much to do, there's so much overwhelm that you just don't do anything. You don't do any of it. You stick with what you know. You stick with what you're already doing. So there is another way as well. So we're surrounded by these chemicals and things that are affecting our hormones, and the other way of dealing with that, because we can't avoid stuff completely, it's just not practical. We can change some things. For some people that will work, and then we can help our own body deal with those chemicals better than it is doing at the moment. We can help our own body. We're going to take on those chemicals, but we can help our body get rid of them a bit quicker, and that is through liver health.
Okay.
Because it's like the filtering, it's like the natural detoxification, and the liver's doing that all the time. So if we can help it do that better, then
So how are you helping it?
Nutrition.
Is it
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Is it like, if you would have to just say one food which is amazing for your body, what would it be? Just one. I know there is maybe not one, but just.
Oh, that's really hard. I want to be.
Or maybe like one kind of food.
Okay, let's go with one kind of food. If we don't say water is a food, because that's probably the best thing. Let's say green foods.
Green food. So salad, like
anything
broccoli,
green.
Anything. Okay.
But to be honest, one of the best things that you can do, which is going away, well, you might think it's going away from nutrition, but one of the best things that you can do to help your body on this level is sleep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So does sleep like balance everything out?
It helps your body, because I recently had a client talk to me about sleep, and she was under the impression, or she had the belief that sleep was it's just one of those times where you're a bit, it's wasted time. You're not getting stuff done. You don't feel like you're getting stuff done, and the jobs on the to-do list aren't getting ticked off, but the jobs on the to-do list inside are really getting ticked off. Your body is so busy and active when you're asleep, and that's when the repair really happens. So we've got to allow those jobs to happen, otherwise they will stack up and stack up. And if you've already got a full to-do list when you're awake, if it's still full when you're asleep, it's just going to make those jobs even harder. So internally and externally, your body's got a huge amount to do. The more we can provide it with the right amounts of sleep, the better. Yeah.
So what's the right amount then?
It's
different for
everybody. It does vary. Yeah, some people can get away with less than others.
Because I read somewhere 7 hours, like minimum 7 hours of sleep, like constant sleep. It's good. Yeah. I think for the main, really, it does vary. But there again, listen to your body. You might think you can cope on 6 hours a night, and you're doing okay. You're functioning. You're getting through stuff, and you come in here and doing your classes and going to work and blah blah blah. However, if you're not listening to those little signs that say, "Hey, struggling to get up," or "Hey, coffee," that's just a little sign that says, "Actually, I'm not coping all that well with 6 hours of sleep. I need a bit more." I love sleeping.
We just ignore it.
I love sleeping, so I don't think it's waste of time. But also another thing, when you sleep, well, when you don't sleep enough, you're stressed, and that's another bad thing for hormones, right?
Yeah.
You have this. What's the name of this hormone? You did mention.
So cortisol.
Yeah.
Well, stress is an interesting one because you've got stress in the outside world, and you've got stress on the inside world too. So there's two elements to it. So even if you don't feel stressed and life is perfect, life is good, you've got your job and your husband and the kids are all fantastic, and you're feeling good, you can still be stressed on the inside. So too much exercise is stress. Mm-hmm. If you're coming here and doing 3 classes back to back every single night, that's not a great thing.
That's not good, guys. As much we love you, it's not good.
Yeah. So don't do that. You'd be better off going to 1 class and putting your all into it, and then eating some antioxidants to help the stress afterwards. So there's internal stress, not getting enough water, not getting enough of the building blocks to make the happy hormones, mm-hmm. Or having those happy hormones stolen by other hormones because some of them share the same building blocks. Sitting in traffic and feeling a bit stressed, that will start to have an effect as well on the inside, and then getting home and needing a glass of wine because of it. Mm-hmm. That's a stress
it's like
too.
A vicious cycle, right?
Yeah, it can become like that. Yeah,
that you just like keep going with like stress, wine or whatever.
Coffee,
sweets maybe.
A bit of an energy fix. Yeah, so I'm not saying you can never have those things, because hey, I do it too. It's just being aware of what it does to your body that will help. Yeah.
I've got actually a couple of questions from one of the fit mamas. So she is asking about the prolactin, prolactin. So she asked how breastfeeding hormones maybe actually encourage your body to store fat, mm-hmm. As they know you are responsible for feeding a baby too. Yeah. So your body does change and develop obviously through that period, and you've got a lot of hormones that are adapting to your needs and the baby's needs. So it's hard for me to explain that in detail, but if she wanted to come and speak to me, we can go for a very long explanation. But basically, sorry to interrupt. That's fine. Let's keep going.
I can just keep talking about this. But basically, your body's needs are for nurturing, and part of that is you are going to store a little bit extra. It's like a protection device on some level. Whilst you're breastfeeding, your body needs round about 300 calories extra a day, and a lot more nutrients. So it doesn't need a huge amount of extra calories, but it's needing huge amounts of extra nutrients. So you've got to look at where your nutrients are coming from, and basically being really savvy with your food choices, so you're getting more bang for your buck in what you're eating. So eating less of the sandwiches and sweets and quick fixes and things like that, and going for really high nutrient quality foods.
Okay. And there was the second question. I hope it's answer your question, Ellie. And by the way, we will put all the details to Angie's page and how to contact her if you guys have any questions in the description of the podcast. So the second was how reduction of prolactin affects you as you wean.
Yeah, it is going to affect you. You might not always be aware of it. Some women aren't. Some women are more aware of it than others. It's going to affect you on energy levels. It's going to affect your body and your body shape, and it's going to affect your mind as well, to be honest. So there again, it's going to be important for you to get more bang for your buck with your food choices, and going for, again, think of the rainbow plate. And also, a lot of women are at this stage when they've had the baby and they're starting to think about losing some of the baby weight, they're becoming more conscious of their food choices, and they're starting to then look at the low fat options. But actually you're really needing, and your hormones are needing, more of the good fats. So again, protein and fats are going to be really important to maintain a nice balance. Your levels, all your hormone levels are going to change throughout pregnancy and beyond, and it's going to have a long-term effect. So allow that to happen, and basically listen to your body all the time. It will go through that process naturally on its own, and the hormones will start to stabilize again. You've got to just give it credit for what it's done. Basically, your body's an amazing thing. It has a natural process. Things will come back into an alignment as long as you allow it to.
Okay.
So don't worry, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, don't worry, it's gonna be
Don't
okay.
worry, it will be fine. Yeah.
So when we're talking about like breastfeeding and pregnancy, there is lots of going with the hormones.
Yeah.
But also before getting pregnant, some girls I know they taking hormones, or like maybe not taking hormones, but like trying to balance their hormones to get pregnant. So which hormone is responsible, like which hormone is affecting not getting pregnant, and what they could, it's maybe some easy solution to
Right.
fix it.
Yeah, that's a good question. So you've got your sex hormones, your steroid hormones. Estrogen is the main one. Progesterone, they're the ones that we think of when we think of the sex hormones. And just incidentally, we've all got the same hormones, men and women. We've just got them in different amounts. So we need to have a nicely balanced estrogen and progesterone, and for pregnancy to occur. But we've got to remember that all these hormones are holding hands with each other. So you have one that's a little bit off, and it has a domino effect to the rest. So we can't always put things in nice neat boxes, even though it helps us to understand things a bit more. We've got to think of the body as a whole and start to look at what's going on in here too. So that doesn't really answer your question. It's really difficult to put things in a small area like that. Estrogen and progesterone are the main ones that we need to balance for fertility. So we've got to look at the body as a whole and see what's happening. If it's not working and you're having trouble conceiving, it's not going to be down to one single thing. It's a big picture that we need to look at. One of the best things that you can do to help that is, again, go back to liver health.
Okay. What about soya? Because I heard soya is helping with fertility.
Yeah.
What is it like? Which hormone does it have? Like,
So soya is a tricky one. It can be helpful and it can be harmful for women. This is specifically. So soya, it's a great thing when it's the right thing. When it's the right source of soya, then it's definitely
organic, you mean, or
organic and fermented. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So always be careful, because if it's the genetically modified soya, I'm not going to mention any names, but the sorts of foods that you see in the supermarkets, soya, like the meat
like
alternatives, that kind of thing. Not going to be that great for us if we're already struggling with hormone issues. If we want to become more balanced and feel more in control, we need to push those to one side and eat more of the organic and fermented types, because they are containing the phytonutrients, so that protects your body against attack, if you like, from the false estrogens. So they're the chemicals in the environment all the time, and they disrupt your hormones. So by eating the right sorts of soya, it is a protection. It's a good thing. It's a good source.
Okay. So, like, to wrap up everything we said about hormones and how they affect and what we should do is basically eating healthy. Eating good sorts of food.
But it's that will help, but that's a tip of the iceberg. We've got to look at the whole body approach.
Lots of things, but also like not putting too much pressure on ourselves, and sleeping would help to some extent.
There's lots of different elements that I work on with all my ladies. Sleep is a big part of it. And if we peel back all the onion layers behind all the hormone health, behind all the hormone balancing things, it comes down to the liver.
Okay.
Yeah.
So take care of your liver, guys.
Yeah.
So just to mention, we'll be slowly finishing. We have the workshop coming up about female hormones on 25th of June with Angie. Here in the studio, it's Saturday.
That's the Saturday,
Saturday. Is it at 12 o'clock, right?
Starts at 12.
12 o'clock. Guys, sign up online. We'll post the details about the workshop in the podcast description, as well as all your details.
Great.
Thank you for having you. It was nice to chat to you.
Yeah, it's been good. Plenty more to talk about. If you do have any other questions, then do get in contact. I'm aware that this is a huge subject and it affects a lot of women in different ways, but I can help.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Cheers. Yay, we made it.